Herbert joined me for a fantastic discussion about some of the things we learned at the Tesla shareholder meeting and some of the questions it raises. We're going to add some perspective. We're going to be talking about space-based data centers. We're going to be talking about the Roadster tease coming up on April 1st, Tesla's thoughts on solar power versus some of the others, production acceleration, and so much more. Let's have a chat about that. Herbert is here, of course. How else would we discuss it? He's usually busy making folks brighter. Right now, he's busy doing that for us, and we appreciate it. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So yeah, we have some fun around here, don't we? If you guys missed part one, I am so sorry. I'll charge you for it. No, it's still up. You can check it out. It was probably yesterday. Space-based data centers. What are you talking about? Is that something you think will happen?
We've heard Elon make these proclamations for incredibly crazy ideas, and then all of a sudden it's happening. It's happening.
Some of them do.
So this is something we've been talking about, how people just think, oh my God, Tesla as a company is going to create electric vehicles, and then now they're going to create full self-driving. The cars will drive themselves. And then, oh my God, robots and humanoid bots is the biggest giant market. And humanoid bots can do unlimited, he called it infinite money glitch. And that's it. We're good. We're good to go. No.
It's interesting. It's interesting because while an infinite money glitch, it might just break money.
Yeah, that too, right? It's just break money. It's unbelievable how many businesses Tesla can now get into if they have a legion of, like millions and millions of robots. But now Elon's talking about, he's got bigger ideas, space-based AI data centers. We all know today we're watching AI take off like crazy. We know that everybody's, upping themselves. Oh, I got the first, million GPU, H100 GPU equivalent data centers. Oh, we're going to build $1 trillion data center. Oh, we're going to build a $5 trillion data center in Saudi Arabia. Now it's like, no, you have to build them in space. In space, there is a lot of benefits. You got free energy from the sun. In fact,
24/7.
SpaceX is doing it now with each of their satellites that they're doing. Starlink has, it's got free energy from the sun, and then you don't have to do the cooling that's required for the battery for the the energy required. And so, space-based AI data centers is another, I don't know, somebody has to give me a number here, but it's multi-trillion-dollar business for sure. And then Brian Wang was telling me that, I said, okay, well, then where is Tesla playing to this? Because I can see SpaceX, because you need the rockets to send those data centers up. Where's, and by the way, there's going to be a lunar one, a base on the moon, and then there's going to be, orbital and suborbital, whatever. And Brian said that, well, 70% of the cost of a data center is the chips. Mm-hmm. And so Tesla's massive work that they're going to build, and they announced that I've got partnership with Samsung, TSMC, and if Intel would partner us, we will. And then at the shareholder meeting, he announced, in fact, I think we'll need to build our own terafab to create the chips ourselves. So that's Tesla. 70% is going to be these AI data centers.
Doesn't the power to run the GPUs cost more than the GPUs? Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe over time. So worth noting, the Starlink do not get 24-hour sunlight because they orbit the Earth at a very low altitude, where this would be at a much higher altitude to avoid collisions. If you've got huge solar panels, you're still going to have problems with micrometeorites, but you're going to have less cross traffic to dodge. Because if you've got a football field of solar panels outstretched, you're going to have some collisions if you're too close. But that means you can get 24-hour sun. You can get the solar radiation without atmospheric interference. The cooling is a bit of an issue because there's no convection to help you cool, but there are ways you can do it that will work. Interesting stuff to think about for sure. And with the breathtakingly low cost of Starship payload, things become possible that weren't. And when you say Elon, sometimes he says things that are crazy that don't happen, but then sometimes he says things that are mind-bogglingly crazy, like, I'm going to catch a supersonic skyscraper with chopsticks. That's not a sentence that existed 10 years ago, and we've seen it done.
No one else can do this too, by the way. I mean, obviously, no one can match the cost that SpaceX can do, and then no one can match how quickly XAI is able to build data centers. Of course, Tesla is also building data centers as fast as XAI because they have the same team pretty well. And then no one has the robots that if they need it, and they don't have the chips that Tesla's going to be making with the terafabs. Yeah, it's crazy.
Reuse of orbital rockets remains out of reach for all companies but one. I don't know if you saw, but Honda did a test launch of a reusable rocket last week that can land, and it looked beautiful. It looked great. It did the job perfectly. And then my wife said, "That looks small." And I said, "Oh, is it?" So I went and looked, and a Falcon rocket is what, 90 feet tall, and this was 21 feet tall. I'm like, okay. So like a car sized. Not as impressive, but okay. Good step in the right direction. April Fool's Day, Herbert. Happy April Fools. Feel like something's coming up. Normally that's my big day of celebration. I sometimes do
Yeah, you
5,
do.
10 videos because I am it's my Super
It's
Bowl.
your day. Yeah.
What is Elon going to do to step on my toes on this, the most amazing day for jokes?
Yeah. So he's announced that Roadster demo is going to do the best and most incredible, memorable demo ever in the world. He says is going to happen on April 1st. Initially, he was saying as early as last week that it was going to happen by the end of this year. I guess they pushed it off, whether or not they're having troubles because Joe Rogan was asking him, "Is this thing going to fly? Is this thing going to fly?" And he just like almost said, "Yeah, it's going to fly." He was that close to saying it, but clearly it's going to do something. He goes, "It's not even a car." So it's I'm going to be there. I'm going to go there and document the whole thing. But they're promising that this thing is, and so I looked up the definition of flying, and I think it's just hovering. If it just gets off the four wheels or turns over, and then they have SpaceX technology, some sort of jet propulsion or something like that to make it hover. But in order to fly, it has to go 50 miles per hour in a certain direction.
So the Yang Wang U9, which can jump over potholes, does it fly?
If it's just jumping over a pothole, it's not considered to be flying.
It's
I mean,
hopping.
it depends on your definition, but that's I think that's truly the definition, isn't it?
Well, I've heard it
I
used
don't.
in slang to just refer to something that's fast. That car really flies, but
Sure.
we'll
Yeah.
find out. We'll find out. And do we have any guess where it would be? Would it be California or Texas?
I mean, if it's a demo that they need to show, it might even be outdoors.
It might be. It might be at a track.
I
Or
would say, but I would guess it's going to be closer to SpaceX facilities. This is more of a SpaceX technology than Tesla's technology.
well, I know I've said this before, but if you really want to break records and show off technology, teleportation. There you go. That's my prediction. Solar dominance. I know we did a whole show about why isn't there more talk of solar? And a lot of people thought that I meant exclusively Tesla should be building solar. And I don't mean necessarily fabricating it, but even just announcing we're going to
Yes.
start setting up solar plants with megapack plants to
Yes.
be a utility. Even that, I think people would find compelling. On solar dominance, Elon pointed out that 99.8% of the solar system is the sun. Let's use that. That's a pretty valuable resource. What do we, what are your thoughts having had more time to digest solar?
So if you piece together everything Elon has been saying in the last 2 weeks, this month, it's all about solar. He's really been giving it a lot of thought. He's talking about it. He's excited about it. And you and I had discussed this many times before, but energy generation was one of the 3 pillars of the Master Plan Part 3 that Tesla's not doing. It's very odd. Tesla goes, here's Master Plan Part 3, but we're not into energy generation. And you can see where his head is going. Nuclear fusion is possible, he said, but you need like massive space unless you go to the space. He goes, obviously natural gas, turbines, they'll do that. They'll use that. Nuclear plants, they're fine. But he did say recently that at the end of the day, it is sun. The sun has tremendous amount of power. So I am still very much expecting that Tesla will announce a massive solar farm. He has said now that he expects it to be local, which means land-based, earth-based. That this idea that could you do a space-based solar farm that then delivers the energy back to Earth. And I think he said that that if you could do it, but it can burn Earth or something like that.
Oh, right.
So,
If you try to
yeah,
beam power back to Earth in the form of
yeah,
energy, that's a death ray. We just call that a death ray.
that's right. And he said that it's possible, but it just sounds like he said it needs to be local, which means that if you're in a satellite, then you keep the solar power powering the AI data centers.
Yes.
If it's on Earth, then it needs to be there. So
Yes.
I think it's going to be a Saudi Arabia deal that they'll announce a massive project for energy generation in Saudi Arabia and just be done with it. You know how Elon thinks it's massive, giant, enough to power the United States country, the entire country, or enough to power the world even. That would be just killer.
Yes. So the big thing that I think a lot of people struggle to wrap their head around is that resources in space don't need to be brought to Earth to be valuable. I've seen people say, "Oh, this asteroid has a cajillion dollars worth of all this extremely valuable minerals." Right. We don't need to bring it to Earth for it to be valuable. You use it for factories in orbit or on the moon to build. It's really hard to get stuff off the planet, but it's also very hard to get stuff onto the planet without, bombing the planet. And space-based power generation could be used to generate power for space, not to send back. Anyway, autonomous push, reaffirming the autonomy lead. When does FSD graduate to handling everything? Everything.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this in a previous shows, but I've learned a few things, or I've got a new thinking on this just recently. So we were talking about FSD, and you and I know how incredible FSD is, and it just keeps improving, and we're really, really close. You've got robotaxi, right? And they're going to remove the safety monitors, approve once and for all. It's actually true robotaxi, and that's going to happen and he said already it takes about 3 months, and then they'll remove the safety monitor in each of these places. Okay. But then how do you get FSD to be the point where you can actually text while you're driving for me and you? Like here
Yes.
in this, city that we're in now. It doesn't matter which city we're at. And at first I was very skeptical because I'm saying, well, in order to have true unsupervised FSD, Tesla needs to pay for your insurance. Tesla needs to be aware of what, from any point A to any point B. You're going to let somebody in Alaska drive and you're going to cover it. Or I thought, okay, maybe they'll just pick like let's say Austin. Okay, in Austin, we'll cover people in Austin. You can sleep in the car, you can text in the car. The new idea that I was now thinking about it, which is what Omar brought up, which is what they could do is not unsupervised FSD. It's supervised FSD, but they'll say to you and me, like I'm driving around here in, near Seattle, and they'll say, you can text in the car. I'm texting away, I'm not looking away, so they're going to reduce the cabin monitoring. But if it finds itself in a situation that requires more attention, it'll just beep, 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 and says, you need more attention. So I'm texting, and it'll beep, 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 beep. Okay, I better look now and see what's happening. Or it'll scream.
Now I need to actually supervise.
So this is still unsupervised FSD. It's still under my insurance. Tesla can roll this out to anybody who has FSD anywhere. And it's just really what they're doing now, which is supervised FSD, but a little bit less, nagging of you needing to. Initially, they had to have you hold the steering wheel. Yeah. And then because you can now no longer hold the steering wheel, but we're going to be looking at your eyes and you need to be looking forward. And if you look at your phone, it's going to nag you. And the interesting comment that Omar made was that, in fact, that's more dangerous now. It's more dangerous if they tell you, I'm going to remove FSD because you're not doing it right because you need to be looking forward. That's more dangerous now. It flipped. And so now it should be no need for you to look, use FSD because FSD is safer. But if just in that rare occasion we need you, We're gonna tell you what to do. And the thing is, Tesla has all the data. They know already now what the risk is if they launch this out in certain whatever scenarios. And so if it's pouring rain, if there's snow, then they'll say, no, there's no unsupervised, you can't text right now.
Yes. The thing that I think was a misunderstanding early on, and I think Elon shared this misunderstanding, was that we would go from entirely, humans and supervised to just
Right.
unsupervised. You can be asleep. You
Sleep.
can have no one in the car. And
Right.
we now realize from the Austin rollout that there's levels in between there where there's some degrees of attention, and that's going to cause more strife. Guys, we've got one more big question for Herbert, but I do want to thank everybody for tuning in, subscribing, liking, all that, because we're going to wrap it up after this. Elon's stage entrance. I feel like he might have been in a good mood. Why do you suppose that is? I mean,
It's a
would you be
party,
in a
dude.
good mood? It's a party, but here's the good news. Congratulations, you just got more work for 10 years, and we're not even going to pay you unless you actually do things that are,
Yeah.
some of these
Yeah.
targets are not ambitious, just
Okay, well,
shocking.
let's break it down, right? So obviously he did post Purdue like the next day. He posted, I have to pull a lot of rabbits out of the hat. Time to pull a
Yeah.
lot of rabbits out of the hat. And he goes, it's a lot of work, and I'm going to be doing a lot of work. But hey, if you think that I can accomplish these, come in for the ride. It's going to be bumpy, he said, but the stock should, I'm going to hit these milestones. He didn't say exactly that, but he says that, it's going to be fun to hit these milestones. So I think the big thing that he was really the thing that was weighing on his mind was the 25% voting control. He didn't want to build an army of robots that he can be ousted from. And if you look at the vote, it just shows you right what happened, right? 75% of people, in fact, it turned out to be 76.6% of shareholders voted in favor of the performance award for him, but 25%, right, voted no. Voted no. So imagine those people who voted no, right?
Mhm.
CalPERS, ISS, Glass Lewis, whatever institute decided to vote no. That's already 25%. So the people who vote no activists could come in and say, fire Elon, fire the board members. They could do that.
I
So
strongly disagree, and I'll tell you why. I don't think the 25% were haters. I think a good chunk of the 25% were people who said he would do it for half the price.
oh,
That,
regardless, and it's like you
but
convince.
that's
I
not
don't think that matters.
removing him.
It's not
I
real.
think it does. I think it
Okay.
does.
It's people who can say, hey, I disagree with what the board thinks and what Elon thinks, and it's time for, whatever. They'll convince them. There's enough people. So he needs his votes. He's got his 25, he's got 20% at this point. And if he hits these milestones, he'll get to 25%.
Hmm.
So I think that that's
And
why he's happy. It's like, okay, now I know the path is clear, and I've got my marching orders. I'm going to go. I'm going to make it happen.
And I think he may, if he hits all of them, exceed 25%. But worth noting that there are still new shares being issued as bonuses to executives and employees that will dilute further.
Yeah.
And so, in conclusion, incorrect. The reason he was in a good mood was because he got to dance with robots. I'm sorry, Herbert. Thank you
Yeah.
for playing, but next time, we'll do better. I'm so sorry. Here's your parting gift. You guys, we have fun over here. Head over to Brighter, find out what Herbert's up to. Who knows? I certainly do not. Everybody else, like, subscribe, do what you do. Stay tuned and juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you, clever robots, perhaps this weekend when I'll be in Tampa at Cyberfest and
Mm.
Furious.